This week, Damien, he's a chip off the old block. He goes into a room by himself to have a bit of a squirt, while a bunch of people stand around and look at his nozzle. G'day, welcome back to Project Brupeg, the story of a sunken fishing trawler converting into a global expedition. Converting into a global expedition. G'day, welcome back to Project Brupeg, the story of a sunken fishing trawler converting into a global expedition and research boat. Today, we have a special guest here.
Scott is back.
Hello.
Scott's back to help Dame do the final blasting in the front cabin.
Yes.
There's quite a bit of work to do. But before we start, I wanted to say thank you, David, for my t-shirt. Those of us who are having a slow day definitely need to wear something like this.
Here she comes like the rays of the sun, she shines.
This fella's just wandering across the road, as you do in Australia.
We got some awesome mail today. Thanks, everyone.
Ron Kuipers. TIG tungstens, wicked. So these are the ones that we use, the 2% fluorinated tungsten, so that's blooming awesome.
He was determined to make sure that you had enough.
If you're TIG welding for a day and you want to make sure you end up with a sharp tungsten at the end of the day, start with 40. And cheers Ron, these tungstens are awesome mate, they're exactly the ones that we need. Then these here arrived from Rich in Vegas. I pulled them out of the box already, but it's for the GoPro 9 that we use. And it's a medium mod, so basically the camera itself sits in here and then you've got all the buttons and everything sort of through this bracket, but there's a built-in microphone up here which is bloody awesome. And you have a little, goes that way right? You have a little doodacky that goes on there like that, so you stop the wind noise from hampering the sound on the camera itself. And then he also sent this, which is it's called a max lens mod. Basically it's awesome for underwater, I believe, because it increases the depth of field, so the angle that you can see is increased hugely that way as well as that way. So think of it like a really massively wide angled lens, and that just plugged onto the front of the camera. It means that you can see a lot more, so that's going to be awesome when we get out to the Barrier Reef soon. Yeah, thanks very much for this, Rich. This is flipping awesome, man. I'm going to put it on the camera today and have a go, see what it comes out like. I'll send you some footage.
He's a very efficient dude, Richard.
He is very
He would have been
efficient.
watching what you were doing with that thing and going, oh, I know how to solve that.
Yeah, it doesn't, yep, absolutely.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you very much, man. Brew team.
Yeah?
This is the postage is brew team. Just there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So this is from Roderick Day. Rod's one of our Patreons, and he sent two of them, but it's a 600 amp ground clamp for the welder. So you can sort of see a photo of it there. You put your ground clamp onto the top of it, and I believe there's like some sort of switch that you can turn on that must use the power coming from the earth. You can basically just clamp it onto a flat surface rather than having to try and find something to grab the alligator clip with. So these are going to be blooming awesome. I'll swap them over and have a go with them today.
That's
so
awesome.
That's really cool. Thank you so much, eh? Cheers, Rod.
It's one of the more difficult pieces of post that we'll probably ever receive. I'll explain why. This is from Amy in America, one of our friends and supporters of Brupeg, and she wanted to give us something to remember little Mishkai and have on the wall, and she wanted us to make sure that we mentioned Amy, same name, who did the painting. It's an original of Little Mishka. So thank you so much, Amy and Amy. Amy Betty, pet portrait artist. She's a mum, and she does this on the side as a little business. And oh my goodness, it's amazing.
It's pretty beautiful, eh?
The colours are incredible.
Yeah.
The whole thing is amazing.
It feels like Mish.
It does. It's amazing. Some artists have that ability, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Our little wolf boy.
We did a trip into Bunnings this morning and we picked up a bunch of 60 litre bins. We use them to dry our sand. We keep the sand in them once it's all sieved and dried and everything. Just stops the rain from getting in there and making our day a bit sad. But we also got some wood. Our 6x2s are going to be the plinths. They go up on the edge that way, and then we cut the shape of the deck into them, and all the cabinets sit on top. And the smaller treated stuff here is going to be wall studs. So we've got 60mm of insulation. This is 75, I think, and we need to basically trim that down so that we can use that as studs. This is the sand that we use. It's White River sand. So it comes just like this. It's pretty cheap to buy. You sort of see the type of quality you get. It's pretty good, and then we sieve it from there. So this is wet as, so we need to dry this. Okay. One, two.
Just like that?
Yeah, the only
Okay.
thing is just it can catch, so I always sort of shovel down.
Yeah, okay.
As much weight as you can.
Just a little bit,
Always pull out the
like that.
little moment.
Alrighty.
It's what I get from doing.
So just help yourself to the snacks, Woodrow.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Something's always around.
It's a cute machine, this one. What's the reason they make the deck so curved for?
I think it's kind of an old,
An old boat building thing?
yeah, like basically, yeah. Because modern boats mostly have flat decks.
Flat decks, yeah. I mean, it's good for water runoff.
That's my drain.
Nice.
That goes into the sponson, the round thing on the side of the boat. Pump
Yep.
and level it off.
Yep. And then what runs out the back?
Yeah, it basically runs probably 1.5 to 2 meters where the wing is.
Yep.
And then drops down onto the ground.
Ah, all right. So you can get sand in there?
Yep. We use it to flush the whole boat out.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
This little drain.
Basically, yeah.
Cool. Nice.
So what I try to do is
Yeah,
blast
you want
everything that way if I
That way.
can.
Because that's the only drain, right? There's nothing
Yeah.
on this side.
Because this side you've got a bail. When we're blasting, these are really important bottles with holes in them because you need to squirt the visor because after about 10 seconds you won't be able to see. So you squirt the visor and then tip it forward and squirt the inside and you can actually see again. So
Oh my
quite
god.
often you're just blasting by braille.
Okay.
You just know I've got the
Is that
edge.
because you get covered in sand?
It just
is it?
bounces around.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I'll go and grab the other hammer drill.
Let's do it. Is that all right?
That's perfect. Yep.
Right.
Because that, like, the amount of time it takes to do this is about half the time as it takes to blast it off with the sandblaster. Because this is really good with abrasion. Like, 2-pack's really good for sand. Like, you can have lots of sand on it or decks or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really good for abrasion, but it's useless for impact.
Yeah, right. Okay.
This red stuff underneath is what they call red lead. It's the old 50-year-old lead-based primer or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Hence the masks. And that's phenomenal at impact, but not real good at abrasion.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay, that's the both
It's not
wells.
coming off with this, but the 2-pack does.
Alrighty.
Don't know if you can hear that, but that's the guys hammer drilling the floor. I'm going for a walk to get away from it for a bit.
This boat's going to be fun to wire.
Oh fuck!
Oh, it's
I
gonna
can't
be
tell
fun.
you how much I'm looking forward to getting rid of them.
Temporary shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do it neat? You're gonna be like looms and labelling everything, cable trays. Yeah.
I know. The backbone of the wiring and everything is like one main feed that comes in, and there's a fuse block up there, like a Blue Seas fuse block on the wall.
Oh right.
And then everything goes from there.
Is that AC you're talking
No,
about?
that's DC.
DC. Why is it going forward for?
So just for simplicity, because otherwise, like I'll have a fuse block back there, and I have to run everything back and forth. I can just run one
a supply cable
to there.
And then off that, you're talking about lighting and power for the cabins.
Yeah,
of course.
Because the bulk of the DC is actually in these two cabins. So I just will bypass everything, put it there, and then
Supply cable, distribution point up there.
That's fused for the supply, and then that's fused for the load.
All the loads. Yep. That's how you do it. Should we fill Sandy up, or she's ready to go?
Can't remember actually. Let's just crack her open.
I'll have a play with that. Oh, there she is.
So this is the dump valve.
Okay.
So whenever it's running, you need to do that to open it.
Oh, because this would be bad cracking this open.
You'll never get it open, but also if you do, it'll probably kill you.
Yep. Noted.
Oh, and what if the first one of the day is always hard. You've got to give it a whack with a hammer.
Okay.
I'll just get you one.
You just get hands.
Now that's a bung.
When we got it, it had a little bung like this. Now that we've got the floor hammer drilled off, it's in pretty good nick. We're going to go through and blast. The SANDBLASTER is working pretty well, we think. The water blaster is new, and it's probably twice as powerful as the one we're used to. So
Scott is very much enjoying it right now.
very impressive. Yeah, so we're going to get stuck in. So we just had a pipe burst. I don't know where, somewhere underneath. Oh, there it is. You see there's a pile of sand just there. Yeah, there we go. A big hole in the pipe right there. Yeah, we'll never deal with that. I also noticed this, the other end of the slog, there's a hole in the nozzle itself. And there was also somewhere under here is a hole. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but there's a leak there, and we just had a pipe blow up there.
Look at
Is
this.
this serious?
So it wasn't the hose that failed. I mean, it did fail, but it failed as a result.
I knew about that, but
You knew it was eating away that much, or?
not that much.
Interesting. Three different places have gone all at the same time.
Well, this was a slow leak firing out the side of the hose.
Oh, you saw that one?
That one there was a slow leak firing out the side of the nozzle, and then that one just went bang! Oh, you absolute cheeky. Previously we'd get, I don't know, what, 3 months out of a hose? Maybe more? 6 months? This one we get about 10 months. Sand goes down.
And bounces back.
And air gets, and that red hose, air gets forced that way, and sand meets it. Like
this is the mixer
yeah, this bit's a mixer. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a Venturi, it sucks
Basically,
from above.
You can see how hot it is in here. The sweat pouring off everywhere. But you look very calm and cool.
I haven't even thought about it yet. You know when I do, because I break into a sweat straight away.
Take this downstairs.
Yeah, I'll just have this bit here.
Yeah.
This is what's so time consuming, these things that break and need replacing and...
Well, this is awesome. I've never done this before,
So we're welding stainless to probably mild. That's been galvanised, I'm guessing. So, whenever you do stainless steel, you want to use 309 either wire or rod or whatever. 309. And they mark it at the end there, so this is saying 2.4 mil.
We got a blockage again. The sand.
That'll be sand in that nozzle.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm ready.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay, say when. Oh shit.
Looks like that's really more way there and there.
What's it doing when you? It's not.
Well, this is not really the problem, it's just that it keeps blocking up. There's real big bits of grit in the sand.
Yeah.
They're a bit too big for the system, I think it's causing issues.
Yeah, it's not hard to miss a little bit.
Have to
That's a bummer though, when you're on a roll, you just want to
Oh,
keep
no.
going.
We're destroying sandblasting nozzles with our new water blaster. It's 3,200 psi. Our old one used to be 2,500-ish. And the new one, what's happening is the water's getting fired through the nozzle, the sand's hitting it, but the water's got so much pressure that the sand, instead of blending with the water and sort of going out the nozzle, it's hitting it and going sideways and tearing the nozzle apart. So our nozzle's getting this big oval shape and there's holes coming out the side, and we're just chewing out ceramic inserts, and we're not really sure how to fix it other than just put the throttle right down on the water blaster and have it kind of gutless, which will work, but it'll be slow and whatever. And we're just trying to think, is there a way of actually utilising the power of the water blaster by maybe redesigning the nozzle? And maybe we just get lots of nozzles and keep throwing them at it, and they're a consumable item and whatever.
They're not lasting long though, are they?
They're not lasting long, and they take a month to get here, each one. So
That looks worn there a little bit too.
so it's basically worn out the ceramic.
Look at that.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Actually, can I do-
Turned me back for 5 minutes.
So what it's done, it's just eaten the ceramic completely away. This one here is completely out around.
It's normal, right?
There's a new one versus the old one. So gives you an idea of how much it's chewed it out. And then this is, that's new versus old.
Wow, look at that.
So,
Can we get softer sand?
amazing, eh? I've never seen it wear the ceramic out.
No,
We've been blasting for years and there's been no, we've never even touched the ceramic, have we?
not at all. Maybe it's just too many people watching.
Too many captains, not enough rudders.
As long as you can replace it, it's all good.
Yeah.
I wonder how long it will last though. That's interesting.
If we stand here long enough, so we'll do it again, won't we?
There's a hole in the stainless, just between the rubber and the actual
So
the
why
hex.
would it wear out there for? There's no bends, it's straight through to
It's
sand.
probably,
Might be
probably
an old
leaks a
one.
bit of air, it gets to the point where it leaks a little bit of air and then
And then it
starts
rushes out. Yeah, yeah, it was squirting it out sideways.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we go. Look at that. Bloody hell.
Whoa!
Thin that is. Look at the thinness of it.
Wow.
They're really thick those things.
Yeah, right. So it's basically evaporated the stainless.
I reckon you would have bought more than one of those when we would.
Definitely.
I'll go down and look.
These are our nozzle, well, part of the nozzle out thingies that we use, and you can sort of see how thin that is compared to that one. and this one has optional ventilation holes. Yeah. Right, replacement time.
And you're saying this is not southern, this is bridgel, right?
Yeah, because it's basically stainless, it just gets worn out with the abrasion of the sand. So it happens over time, but can't stop it. Unless I can find like, it's got like a ceramic liner or something like that. I'll never stop this with stainless. It's just not hard enough. Can I do that for you? Yeah. So the sandblaster's out of action for a wee bit. We destroyed the nozzle. This is the first time this has happened, but we put a ventilation hole in the side of it. That's one of 3 holes that we found in the system, so the whole thing's not working at the moment. So our solution is this. It's a big monster of a nozzle. It's 5,000 psi rated, and our machine's 3,200. So it's got an aluminium body in this part here, and then a plastic nozzle at the front here in this area here, but it's got a ceramic insert, so it's got quite a long taper. It's quite a long nozzle, so the taper's about that long compared to our old bronze nozzles. As it squeezes down, they had a very short taper, so I'm hoping this whole thing's going to be a bit more survivable on our machine. It's also, everything on this is adjustable as well, so you can undo this little bolt here and then pull out this part here, adjust it where you want it, but you can change the spray pattern, you can change the nozzle, so that's something that, and it also has a quick connect, so you can pull it on and off your machine really fast. We're not going to use that, we just actually bolted our machine straight into the back of it, just to stop any sort of wobble or anything like that. We've managed to put some studs into this wall, so these wooden studs, 60mm thick studs, 60mm from the wall. They're getting insulation in them shortly today, and we'll get a wall panel on those. And then also we're about to go in and get that wall panel. But while we're going out to town, we're going to rust kill this so it's off gassing while we're off the boat. So we managed to get half the floor blasted. We got all of the floor hammer drilled off. You can sort of see all of the bare steel and bits of paint and whatever's gone now. And we managed to get half the floor sandblasted. We're going to rust kill that now. So at the moment it's orange rusty iron oxide rust. That black colour you see there is rust killed. So that's iron phosphate is what turns iron oxide into iron phosphate. That's what phosphoric acid does. A lot of metal etchers have phosphorus in it, or phosphoric acid in it, because it turns it into an amazing surface to paint on. And I really love how fast the phosphoric acid actually works. Like, it's within seconds it starts to turn the metal. It goes from the orange to like a light grey, and then finishes up that sort of black colour. So I'll put it on and you'll see just how quick it actually works. This gives you an idea of how fast this works. It's already doing the light grey thing over here. Eventually that'll turn dark like that blacky sort of colour at the end. And then this is the last piece that I just sprayed. You can see it's still got a little bit of orange in there where we're just waiting for that to turn as well. The last but critical step when you're using phosphoric acid like this is you need to give the surface a rough up. So you can sort of see this has set this phosphoric acid, and there's a lot of rubbish on the surface. So we've got like a crystalline structure in this sort of area here. And also where a bit of water's hit, it's gone white. You need to give this whole thing a rough up with a wire brush. It will take about 50% of it off, but you'll end up left with a surface that's perfect for painting too. While we wait for the rust kill to do its thing, we did a trip into town. We got some wood. So this wood is going to become wall panels and wardrobe panels as well, like a little wardrobe storage thing at the front of one of the rooms. always a sucker for a bit of stainless steel pipe. We found some that came in the yard the other day on the travel lift. This is one of the navigation piles in the river where we're based. Something large and heavy smacked into it and ripped it out of the ground. So these are quite long. They've normally got like lights and beacons and bits and pieces at this end. I would say this thing's probably close to 20 metres, maybe 25 metres long, and it's good 12mm, half-inch thick steel. I've never seen inside one of these things, and I thought you guys might like to see it as well. We also found an earlier variant of Brupeg. I believe this is a galleon, but I'm almost certainly wrong. You can see on the first version of Brupeg they started with sails and realised the fallacy of that and done away with it and stuck a big Cummins in there. This is the remains of the volcano that left all of the basalt rocks that are all around the coastline here.
Where we're standing right now.
Where we're standing is the old cone of the volcano. And it flooded all of these paddocks with basalt about 1 million years ago.
It was Dame's birthday this week and he wanted to head to the beach, of course. He wanted to be around water. You can see some of the basalt rocks underneath his feet, and look at this beautiful coastline.
I've gone down the moon.